Greetings in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, our King and High Priest, through the order of Melchizedek, Cohen forever, who sits at the right hand of El Shaddai, Yahweh, sovereign through the generations. Today, I'm gonna do a trade recap I did on ES, and I'm gonna just run through like from a top-down analysis and kind of give a rundown of what I did today. So before I start, um, I was gonna trade this competition from Bookmap. It's called Trading Scary Size, and I had a lot of problems in the trade today, trying to get that working. The software, something went wrong with the subscription that I was in, and I had to switch over to something else, and I had to go to support. And by the time I did the trade, it just didn't register in the competition. So it was a good trade this morning, and it just didn't register, and I didn't even take it in like my Apex accounts, right? Because I was trying to trade the competition from Bookmap solely today, right? So with that being said, let's see here. This is a monthly volume profile that I'm showing you here. These are also some anchored VWAP. That's the wrong one. Hold on. Let's get the arrow. So we have the anchored VWAP. It's not really anchored from here. It's anchored from the beginning of the month, but it starts to show from here. So this is the third upper deviation. This is the second upper deviation. This is the first upper deviation. That's VWAP. First lower deviation, second lower deviation, and third lower deviation. This is the volume profile for the month. And let's see, I have some Camarilla levels. I call that my copper top monthly resistance zone. That's Camarilla R3, the red line. And that copper line right there, that's floor pivot R1. Those are monthly levels, right? So monthly pivot levels. So you can see here we had that nice little bullish run, and also this green line right here, that's Camarilla S3, a monthly level, and it's also coupled with, I believe it's the central pivot. Let me just bring that into focus. Right. So pointing right there on the arrow, that blue line, that's the central pivot for the month. So that's at 56.99.75. Monthly Camarilla S3 is at 57.11.19. So that's a golden pivot zone right there on the monthly levels. So we came down here. We didn't really get to that level. Started to find support. Buyers came in here before we even got to the golden support level. Let's use the arrow. Right, so we started, buyers started to front run that. We got the reversal and we pushed up here, right? So we got all the way up here. We did a nice little traverse, although we didn't touch Camarilla S3. We got a nice little traverse here up to monthly Camarilla R3 at roughly, let's see here, I believe it's 57. Yeah, that's 57, 57. Nope, 59.19 or 59.18.50, right? My eyes are going bad, man. I need some glasses. Anyway, so this is the volume point of control here. I have that monthly level at 58.69.75. And let's see. So what did we start to see here from a volume price analysis perspective? We have nice volume coming in here on the sell side, right? Volume, the candle is confirming that volume. So we have a reversal, a pending reversal here. We didn't really get an engulfing, but it was close, right? It was still an inside candle compared to this bullish candle right here, but nice selling right there. Volume came back to a normal level on this candle right here. Buyers didn't take it back up. We did get buyers coming back up here, right? More volume came in, but we had this large wick to the upside, so that's a selling wick. Another bearish confirmation right there. Then we had this candle here. It's kind of an indecision, but it had some body to the candle. Regular volume on that. Then we got it's like a buying wick candle. The wick is down here. I know the profile is probably blocking it a little bit, so let's do this. Let's right. So right there, that's a buying wick. It's looking like sellers are trying to keep the price up at this level here to sell out from this level, right? So when I see this is normal volume. We had basically a markup back up to this level here so they can sell, right? So this right here, we have another doji candle, normal volume right there again, pushing it back up, doing the same thing as this, but it's weaker, right? Then we have the selling confirmation right here. We have big volume confirming this move down. Actually, this volume could have been a little more because let's test this out here, right? Volume is same as roughly this candle, and this was 64.25 points. And then this candle here is 92 points, right? And they're roughly the same level of volume, right? So with this here, I'm looking at this as like a little anomaly here. It is selling. We're getting confirmation with the volume, but it's a little the the range of the candle is a little too much for the volume, I would say, right? So we get the buyers coming back in here. What I would think about this is like it's like a little stop run here. Buyers kind of came back in to try and support it here at this level. You can see this level right here. Let me just mark that out. Right, so they came back. We retest this level right here. Buyers came back in to support their positions, right? And now we're getting what I would consider some more selling here on this candle, right? Heavy volume again, confirming that there is sellers, right? So we're coming back up to the same level here where price tried to come back to after these buying wicks, right? So they're looking for nice prices here to sell out at. The candle is confirming that, the volume is confirming that. We have more sellers here again. This is average-ish volume, you know. Sellers taking it down not too aggressively. I don't think they want to scare the market too much because as in this candle here, they're bringing it back up to these levels here where they could start selling. Now, you would start to see lower points of supply, right? So in a distribution phase, if we're distributing here, we will start to see these lower points of supply, right? And eventually it'll break down a little bit, break down until we break down out of this range here totally, right? And start getting back into this range and break the levels coming back down to these levels here, right? So what I'm looking at is either it's distributing right now, we're taking profits, the buyers are taking profits. They could always step back in and reinforce heavy buying and push that back up. But right now it's looking like they're taking profits, right? So I'm more on the bearish side, but not bearish as in a big breakdown, but bearish as in they're taking profits at this point here, right? And for the longs to continue, you would see that breakout. You would see the confirmation with the price action. They'd come, they break the highs, retest, and go, right? If we keep getting these selling confirmations here, we're taking profit and they're propping up price a little bit just to bring it back up to where they want to take profit at, right? If they keep taking profit and they run their stops, then we'll start moving down. So let's see here, coming down to this 1 hour chart is where I have my weekly levels. So let's take this off here, take this off, take this off. Right. So the week began here with this candle right here on Sunday, the 27th of October. Right. We had this nice buying coming in here. And basically we're seeing where the sellers are starting to take control early in the session, basically, right? Or early in the week, right? We're having these reversal candles engulfing, right? We're having another engulfing here. This one wasn't really an engulfing, but heavy selling, it basically engulfed the body, not the wick, right? And this is where the buyers are bringing it back up to try and get better prices to sell from, right? We have the selling wicks, engulfing candle pushing down. So you can see the selling pressure is very evident. We have the selling volume, right? And coming into this session here, where I marked this level here as a support zone. So this is previous week's VPOC at 58.4675. I have this right here is a automatic reaction level. That's a Wyckoff level. And if we break down this level, retest, we could break down even further, right? So this is a support level here. So let's see here. This is a low volume node, 55, 58, 58, 25, and that was from the previous week. So as you can see, we're moving through that. We're getting buyers. So if this is a heavy volume area and we're pushing up, and this is another heavy volume area, we're getting buyers pushing through this previous low volume area, right? So we have another low volume area here, and this is a monthly high volume node right here. So as you see, as we come up to this monthly high volume node, we get the sellers coming back in, right? So coming back up to these levels here, see all these levels here where we got sellers. We have sellers still in play right here, right? So the thesis for me this week, let's see, let's go to the Camarilleas, right? So the Camarilleas are in a overlapping, no, not overlapping, it's in a lower value relationship. And let me just point that out here. Maybe I need to just open this up a little bit. So you can see the lines come down from the previous session. Let me just open this up. Right. So this right here is Camarilla S3 from the previous week. It was at this level here, right? Now we have Camarilla R3 coming down and going below this level. So this is creating a lower pivot relationship comparative to the last week, right? So with that being said, as you can see now, we're having the rejection of the Camarilla R3 level. This is a weekly level, right? So this is for the entire week, and this is providing resistance. It's in a bearish setup. A lower value relationship is the most bearish setup you can get in the Camarillas. So let me just make this smaller again. And as you can see here, it's still providing resistance, right? So we had resistance, sellers, sellers, sellers all around this area. We broke down and we came down to this automatic reaction level here. And let's see. Right, and this is a central pivot area for the floor pivots, right? So I'm highlighting this right here. Let me just point that out. So it's coming back down. Sorry, I'm getting an alert there. So when you see that pop up, it's talking in my my earphones there when I'm getting this alert. So it's reading this out. So this is the top central pivot, right? It's aligned with the automatic reaction. This is the central pivot, and this is the bottom central pivot, right? So they might be flipped right now. Sometimes in the calculation, the top central is at the bottom and the bottom central is at the top. But it doesn't really matter where they're at, it's just the central pivot range. So we came back down to basically the meat of the market. This is kind of like a mean reversion in the pivots, in the pivots thesis, the floor pivots. This is basically mean reversion, right? So even in the R2, Camarilla R2 and R1 and S1, all of this here is basically in the mean of the central pivots, right? So we came back to these levels. We got support here at 58.3750. kind of in the middle of nowhere really. There's no from my levels, there is no really no level here. It's just basically where we bought from previously, which is where buyers are just stepping in, right? So no real pivot level to coincide with that. S1 is here. We didn't get to S1, Camaria S1, but to me, Camaria S1 isn't that big of a support level. It could be in tight ranges, but not really when we're moving, right? So I guess you could say we're in kind of like a little range environment right now. So I guess it's a little significant, but basically they're just coming in here at these buy levels where we have these wicks, right? So buyers came back in here, took it back up. We have heavy buying on these candles, lots of movement through a low volume node, right? Here again. And now we're coming back up to Camaria R3 and we're getting that rejection right there again, right? So to me, this is, I label this a breakout level, right? So if we do break above Camaria R3, hold support, build some auction or consolidation around above this level, then we could get a further move up to Camaria R4, which is at 5908.98. So basically 5909, right? Weekly cam is at 5877.50, right? So looking at this right now as basically they're just going to continue taking profit at these levels, right? So just throwing on the VWAP bands right now. Right, so we have the VWAP bands, we have the second upper deviation providing resistance. Right, so we have all that resistance. This is the third upper deviation, but basically getting the rejection at second. Right, not really getting to third, but this one hit third. So came back up here, tested second. So we're getting that second upper deviation rejection again. Could get a nice little breakdown from first upper deviation here again. See, there's a lot of congestion in this area, but heavy selling through this area, flushing through, right? Came back retest, flush from this level. So we could get a nice little push down here and a breakdown of the first upper deviation. So what I did today in the competition, which I actually, it's trading scary size. So I was taking a lot of contracts. I think I got up to like 100 contracts. And I basically caught this reversal, right? So let me just go down to, oh, I didn't put on the volume pointer control. Hold on one second. Let me just break down the volume pointer control real quick. Let me just take everything off, kind of clear this up a little bit. Right, so as far as the volume pointer control is concerned, we're up here. This is the volume pointer control right now at 5871. And let's see, we have a high volume node here. I could move this around a little bit. So, right, this is going up here. This is now a high volume node. Let's see, we have another one here. Could move this up. This is a high volume node now. Let's see, I need another one. So make a clone of that. Bring that down. I know this was supposed to be a trade recap, but now it's turning into basically a technical analysis video. But I'll get to the trade right now. Right, so basically here, buyers came in, right, from the volume point of control perspective. Not a lot of volume here though, right? So low volume pullback. We push through here, not much volume through the volume pointer control, so that's a little suspicious right there. I would expect a little more volume pushing through this level, pushing through the sellers. But to me, sometimes the sellers actually make these bullish operations, and that's when they come up here and take profit, right? So that's the volume pointer control for, let's see, I want to just throw on the VWAP to see what, how it relates to it. All right, cool, cool. Let me just put my stuff back on here. And let's go to the 5 minutes. Right. So I actually caught this reversal here. So let me just throw on the VWAP bands, right, for this morning here. So I actually took this reversal from around this level here, 58.40. But let me see something real quick. Throw on the pivot levels. Right. So we came down here to Camaria S5, right? Is being blocked right here by this weekly low volume bottom, right? So that was the bottom of the weekly volume profile. So that's Camaria S5 right there, right? So we came down here, we tested it once, tested it twice. So I took this reversal here and I started adding as we broke above the second the second lower deviation, the first lower deviation, which is this line right here. Let me just use the line, point these out. Second lower deviation, first lower deviation, VWAP, first upper, second upper, right? So I caught this reversal here after the sell-off because I was looking at it as we could possibly get like a stop run to the upside, like a squeeze, right? Because we're getting these sellers, we have a lot of selling pressure, and as I was saying, these buyers use these tactics to get back up to their selling level, right? So it's not really a reversal, it's just a tactic to get back up to their sell level, right? So as you can see here, they start selling out. You get these wicks. Anyway, so I caught this reversal here from Camaria S5. It was holding support. Took that run up right there. Right. I can't remember where I exited though. But I'm gonna get to the trade that I did on Apex anyway. So we came above. Let's see what was the relationship here. So we have an overlapping higher value relationship on the Camarias. Let me just point that out. So we're looking for support at S3, right? But we got that straight flush through. But if we do come back above, then we could get that traverse from Cam S3 back to Camaria R3, right? Because it's a big short squeeze. So Camaria S3 is here at 58, 53.94. R3 is here at, I believe that's 58.69. Yeah, I think it's 58.69 or 58.67. Let me just check this out real quick. Put the 58.69. All right, cool. So we have that overlapping higher value relationship where the Camaria S3 moved up, Camaria R3 moved up from the previous day. You can see it right here. And then it moves up to the current day, right? So let's see here. Let's go to current price action. Right, so this was my trade right here, right? So we have a golden pivot resistance zone right here with Camaria R3. And so this is my Black Sun strategy setup, right? So we have this Camaria R3 here and the central pivot at 58.67.75, right? So Camaria R3 is at 58.69. So what I'm looking for is when we come back up here to start getting these cells, right? So that's when I caught one of these cells here. I believe it was this one because I think I missed the first one, and then when it came back up here I caught this one. So let's go to the apex chart here. So let's see here. Actually, we're gonna go to Bookmap first before I show you, because this is simulated trading on Bookmap. So I'm gonna hook up my Apex accounts to Bookmap probably tomorrow to today, and start trading off of it. So what I actually do is I'm looking at the order flow on Bookmap, and I'm executing on right. So I'm getting those alerts here. So those are large orders. So I get to see them when they pop up. So that's a whole order right there. Those are not compiled by other traders. It's just one trader making this trade here. So I got those orders, those notifications right there. Anyway, coming up here, this was a wrong order right here. No, actually this was a sell right here, right? And I got stopped out. So I tried to take a Black Sun strategy. Actually, this is the first one right here, right? So right here, try to take this push above plus one VWAP at at around CR2, Camarilla R2. So this isn't really a good level, but I'm thinking we might get the reversal before we get up to these levels here. So I gotta stop doing that though. Kind of forcing the trade too much. I gotta wait for it to set up properly. So we got the break above. Let me just show, right? So we broke above here, broke down, got the retest, and that's where I entered on the retest, right? And I actually prematurely stopped out. No, actually, this was a wrong order where I went long here and I was supposed to go short. So I just closed out the order, right? Then here again, this was when I went short right here and stopped out, right? So one mistake trade and one stop out. So moving across here, this is where I actually took the trade and I caught the trade, right? So as you can see here, sometimes you really have to just wait for the setup to play out, right? So we actually came back up here. This is around 11:42. Came back up to Camarilla R3 level 58.69, right? And I think I want to break down these market pulse indicators that I have here. Let me just open that up a little bit. Right, so this blue line and this blue line right here that turns into a green line, and that dark blue right there, those are my volume pressure imbalance and volume pressure. So I named volume pressure imbalance VPA dominance because the imbalance is basically I'm trying to see who's dominant. So this is showing VPA dominance, right? So the volume pressure is either balanced to the buy side or the sell side. Now it could be both at the same time, right? Because you can see here we have the selling pressure coming down and the buying pressure coming up, right? So it's a battle right there. So this right here is I call this VPA attack because this is actual volume pressure, aggressive sellers, aggressive buyers, right? So this right here, aggressive buyers coming in here, right? We have a stop run moving to the upside. We do have iceberg buyers, right? So iceberg buyers taking this up to Camarilla R3, right? So you can see the iceberg buyers pushing it up. We start getting the absorption, right? So my absorption is VPA stopping. That's absorption imbalance, right? So it's showing me where the absorption is taking place on what side is either passive sellers or passive buyers in control. So at this point here, I wanted to see passive sellers, right? Because if we're coming up here and I'm looking for a reversal at Camarilla R3, I'm looking for passive sellers, right, to start absorbing the buying. So we didn't have, yes, we did have a little spike there of passive sellers, right? So that's that black line that turns white right there, right? So that's my spike of passive sellers, right? And this is VPA rolling. This is absorption, right? So this is absorption imbalance, and this is absorption. Just like this is volume pressure imbalance, and this is volume pressure. So I name this one VPA attack. So when the volume is coming in, it's attacking. It's either the aggressive buyers or aggressive sellers are attacking. And this VPA rolling means it's the it's the absorption, right? So once they absorb the passive sellers, let's say the passive sellers start taking control. Once they absorb, we're gonna start rolling over. So that's why I call it VPA rolling, right? And this is sweeps, right? So I call that a hot knife, meaning that it just cuts through price, right? So that's hot knife. That's sweeps, my sweeps indicator. So, and actually, I believe this is actually. Hold on, let me see, let me see, let me just open this up real quick. So, yeah, the hot knife is actually this one right here. So we had sweeps to the upside, right? So this was an upside sweep. You can see it right here as well. These green indicators right here are the sweeps to the upside, right? And those are the stop runs. That 26, and these are the sweeps to the upside, sweep of the book, and that's the stop runs, right? So looking at this price action here, it's looking like it's bullish, and now our selling pressure is starting to dwindle a little bit, right? So this is where this trade is not perfect, right? Because in this setup now, I'm trying to find my VPA selling attack, which is these two levels here, right? Hold on, let me just. I'm looking for this one to spike low, and I'm looking for this one here to spike low as well, right? So as you can see, buyers are in way more control up here, right? We have iceberg buyers, we have stop runs to the upside, and we have all kind of buying activity coming in here. We have volume coming in as well, right? Now, what we don't get is follow through. You start seeing them falling off and they're moving back down to the mean, right? And the sellers are basically not coming back to the mean. They're kind of moving to the upside as well, but we having a serious retreat or lack of pressure from or follow through from the buy side activity, right? So they went from spiking up here and just basically came back down to the mean. So all the volume pressure came back down. And then this fuchsia line right here, this is my VPA selling, right? My imbalance. So my imbalance is still kind of pushing to the downside, right? Now I'm looking for my setup here around Camarillo R3 in the golden pivot zone basically, right? So what we have here, we have the selling pressure dwindling. And now for the return, the re-attack, right? I want to show this here. We don't have no spikes anymore. The buying spikes, they never came in on this push up right here. We have the iceberg buying, right? We're pushing back up to this level, but we don't have any volume pressure imbalance to the upside of VPA attack. No VPA dominance or VPA attack. What we do have is some more selling spike into the downside. We have some selling pressure imbalance until they actually start coming in here a little more. Now the buyers start trying to fight it a little bit, right? We do have some spikes here and we do have a sweep, but the sellers took more control of this right here, right? Right. So I looked at that. Observed that, didn't really jump in the trade yet. So when we got this sweep to the upside, you see, we did not move to the upside. We just got a little push, some buying volume coming in here, and they just stopped out. It run the book there a little bit on this spike up, right? Now, what we do have, selling pressure drop. I mean, buying pressure dropping again, selling pressure as well coming back to the mean, right? We have buying pressure pushing back up here again, but now we start seeing that selling pressure here now is dropping, right? So this is my attack is starting to drop and it's starting to lay pressure on, right? So they are starting to attack to the downside. We do have some buyers coming in here. We do have a spike, and looking at the price action, I'm seeing who's actually winning this battle right here, right? So we have the volume pressure, both of them trying to make their move, but you can see we only have what is it, the VPA attack, but we don't have the volume pressure imbalance. This one right here, this light blue, is not pushing to the upside, right? And also the sell-in pressure imbalance is not pushing to the upside. So we don't have an imbalance until this guy here starts moving down. And this one here does not move to the upside to support the buyers. So we have the sell-in imbalance moving towards the downside with the sell-in attackers, right? So it's VPA attack and VPA dominance starting to move in sync with one another. This VPA buyer attack, this one here, the darker blue, that's the attacker. He's trying to move up. Icebergs are trying to move up, but we don't get the imbalance supporting it, right? So we don't have no volume pressure imbalance supporting that up move. Price action is saying that they're losing, right? So you can see we have these retests here after we break down, buyers trying to do something here, right? And they're just getting follow through to the downside as we start getting selling pressure pushing more and more to the downside. So this is how I set up this trade. I set up a stop limit right here. I think it was a stop limit, a sell limit. Um, Came up here, entered on this rejection here, or retest of Camarilla R3. And then I decided, I said, okay, because I'm selling above this +1 VWAP, right? I like to sell on the breakdown of +1 VWAP or the retest of +2 VWAP. Now you see +2 VWAP is all the way up here, right? It's almost at Camarilla R4 level here. So what I did was I front run because we have the pivot level, but this is the +1 VWAP, which is a little lower. So I front run the +1 VWAP, took the sell right there because we have the setup. We have like a little double top. We have the VPA kind of showing that sellers are active at this level, right? So on the breakdown of this level here, right, which coincide with the structure, I entered another sell limit right here, right? So this is the breakdown of +1 VWAP. So I added to the position one contract here and another one contract at 58.6825, and Camarilla R3 is at 58.69. So I took the breakdown here at 58.6825. Entered here again at 58.66, the breakdown of +1 VWAP at 58.6618, right? So took that down here, and this one, I think my trailing stop is set up a certain way where I actually caught more on the Apex account than this simulated trading right here. So I exited at 58.6375, right? So let me just do some real quick here. Right, so this is the trade right here. This is the entry at 58.6825. If you can make that bigger. I should be able to make that bigger, man. Um, anyway, I'll work on that. So 58.6825 is a sell. Entered here again on the breakdown of +1 VWAP at 58.66. And then all out at 58.6325. So yeah, I got the same exit as Apex 58.6375, and yeah, same thing. So what my trailing stop does is once it moves a certain amount, then it starts trailing by 2 points. So after we get 6 points, let's see, first entry is 58.6825. So once we get to 64.25, it breaks even my trade, right? So once we break even, after that, if we move another, so 64.25, and we come down here to 62.25. So when it moves to 62.25, that's when I start trailing by about 2 points, right? So now with the averaging of this position here, it changes the dynamics a little bit. But that's basically what it is. I Once we move 4 points in profit, I go to break even. If we move 2 more points in profit, which is 6 points, my stop moves to 4 points in profit, and we start trailing by 2 points. So every time it moves 2 points, my trailing stop moves up 2 points. So if from 6 points we move to 8, then my stop moves to 6, and so on and so forth. So that's the PNL on the day, 275. I had one loser before, I believe, on this Apex account. Where was it? Yeah, this was it right here. So went short here at 58.6475 and stopped out here at 58.67. This was another setup right here. Took this short at 58.6525 and broke even on this trade. So 58.6525. We came down to 58.61, right? So 58.6525 to 58.6125, right? So that's 4 points, move us to break even, come back, stop me out, right? So that's how my system is working, right? That's my trailing stop system right there. And I should have caught this reversal here earlier in the session, man. I would have caught this reversal here, but I was working on this trading scary size bookmap competition and didn't really get anything out of that. So um, tomorrow is another day. So small profit on the day, decent little setup, and let's see what we could catch tomorrow. This was a long video, man. I was just gonna do a trade recap, but did some technical analysis and stuff, and I haven't done a video in a little while, so it's good to, I mean, just kind of get back in. And so now I have Bookmap again and stuff, so it's good to jump back in and start, reading this stuff. Even it helps me doing these trade recaps to go over what I did and what I was looking at and if I was reading it properly and stuff, so yeah, that's the trade, man. All right, y'all. So it's Malek Shalomo. Y'all trade safe and stay blessed.